The Miami Heat have won their 5th game in a row and are flying through the Eastern Conference standings. We'll break down what that means for the Miami Heat on this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as 88.5% of you guys currently watching are not subscribed to the channel. We appreciate all your support. Now let's get to it and break down this massive Miami Heat win and explain what we really saw from the Miami Heat tonight as we went into Portland and won our 3rd game post All-Star break. It was our 3rd game out of 4 that we will have on the road all out west. And again, another win for the Miami Heat is our 5th in a row dating back to before the All-Star break. We are 8-2 out of our last 10, and we've won 9 out of our last 11 games. We look really good right now. It seems like since that player-only meeting, or that player-led meeting, I should say, January 30th, we have been a different ball club. And this is dating back to that date, since January 31st. Again, 9-2, winning 9 of our last 11 games. Things are really clicking for the Miami Heat, but there are some things to talk about. Now, this game, we are playing the Portland Trailblazers in Portland, obviously. But again, Portland is not a good basketball team. From head to toe, they are not a great team, and they did not look good tonight. In the first quarter, the Miami Heat, let me rephrase that. In the first half of this basketball game, the Miami Heat were awful. They were terrible. It hurt to watch. I watched every possession of this basketball game. Yes, there was glimpses of good moments and this and that. In the first half for the Miami Heat, they looked horrible. The offense, nothing was working. Everyone was out of sorts. They looked sluggish. They looked tired. The offense was flat. I will say, despite the not a full effort of energy, again, from a spectator's point, the defense translated. But in the second half, things really did change. It was a true tale of 2 different halves for the Miami Heat in this game. We'll get to the second half in just a minute. But for the first half, I want to highlight really quick, 6 of 21 shooting for the Miami Heat in the first half and 6 turnovers. I felt like a lot, that was the first quarter, but overall in the first half, 10 turnovers for the Miami Heat, a poor shooting percentage, and just simply could not get anything going. For the Miami Heat box score, Jimmy Butler really did show up once again, 22 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. It felt like whenever, especially in the first half of this basketball game, that offense was going flat. It seemed like Bam was moving slower. Yes, we were on a second night of a back-to-back, so that is definitely a contributing factor, as fatigue is seriously an issue, especially when you are out west for 4 consecutive games. You are now on the 3rd one. Again, on a back-to-back, you shouldn't be in a favored position when in the situation. But again, the offense was going very flat. It seemed like we didn't really have an answer for really bad defense on Portland's side. They just came out with a little bit more energy than the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler did a great job in not only scoring the basketball early, but really facilitating the offense. Whenever the ball was in his hands, everyone seemed nervous that he was going to be able to score whenever he wanted. He was attracting a lot of attention. He was able to set things up in an offense that really was doing absolutely nothing, especially in that first and second quarter. Now, for everyone else, Bam Adebayo played a good game. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He did have 6 turnovers. Not great on the turnover side of things, but again, +4, ±, so he was positive there. Only shot 9 shots, 5 of 9 from the field. He did miss 4 free throws. The free throws were a problem for the Miami Heat. They shot 18 of 26 from the free throw line, which is horrible. 69% from the free throw line. You cannot miss 8 freebies in a basketball game. I don't care if we're playing the Detroit Pistons, the Portland Trailblazers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Boston Celtics. I don't care if it's the best team or the worst team in the league. You cannot leave free points at the free throw line, especially in a game that went like this. When we were down early in the first half, we dropped down 15 at 2 different times in the first quarter due to the offense falling so flat. And despite that, the Miami Heat getting to the free throw line, they weren't capitalizing. It seemed like despite shooting themselves in the foot with the lack of offense and the lack of really energy in the first half, they were still incapable of producing when getting these free shots. So, again, a sketchy game for the Miami Heat. They were able to come through. They still lost the rebounding battle, and they lost the turnover battle. No surprise, as it seemed like Portland would have just had to hand the ball to the Miami Heat in order to lose the turnover battle tonight, as Miami especially in the first half. It seemed like players were leaving their feet before a decision was made on what they were going to do or where they were going to go with the basketball, and it was resulting in a lot of turnovers. If you leave the ground and you don't know if you're going to pass, take a floater, or do what you need to do with the basketball, it usually results in a bad result, and that's really what we saw a lot tonight. Again, 6 turnovers in the first quarter of basketball for the Miami Heat, 10 in total in the first half, and then in the second half, things really did change for the Miami Heat. The energy picked up tremendously. We ended up getting a lead up to 12 points, and it was due to our defense. In the first and the difference in the first and the second half was really the energy. The offense wasn't great in the second half either, but it was able to get picked up by players like Terry Rozier, who did have a decent night tonight. 7 of 14 shooting, his first game in 2 weeks because of the knee injury he suffered against the Boston Celtics on February 11th in that 110-106 loss for the Miami Heat. But again, he shot the ball pretty efficiently tonight in a decent amount of shot attempts. 7 of 14, 50%. 2 of 4 from the three-point line, including a big three-point shot in the fourth quarter. It was a step back, really an isolated type of play call for the Miami Heat. He was able to win the matchup and bury the three-point shot. It was a huge timed shot for Terry Rozier and the rest of the Miami Heat. He had 19, 4, and 4 with a steal and 2 blocks tonight for the Miami Heat and a plus minus of +8. Everyone else, it was Duncan Robinson, a big highlight. Once again, we did have no Tyler Hero, so Duncan did get another start. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Duncan Robinson did play pretty good defense tonight. He had a few defensive highlights. He did shoot 5 of 8 from the field and 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Always good to see him get back on the three-point side of things, as he did not make a 3 last night against the Sacramento Kings. And then Nikola Jovic, he did start. He did not get things going until late in this game. Didn't make a shot until late in the third quarter, where he did make 2 3-point shots. Absolutely massive from Jovic, getting things turned on at some point in this game. Shot 3 of 5, 2 of 4 from behind the three-point line. Did not make either of the 2 free throws he did attempt in this game. I cannot believe the amount of free throws we did miss. Jimmy Butler even missed 2 of his free throws, 7 out of 9 tonight from the free throw line. He played great, 22 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. He played fantastic on both ends of the floor. It seemed like no one could really get away from him on the defensive side of the ball. And then when the Miami Heat came down, it seemed like the only consistent option tonight was Jimmy Butler. And it wasn't even the fact that he was putting the ball in the basket every time he touched it, but every time he did touch it, he demands so much attention that not only if they bring the double team, but the wandering eyes on the defense allows for back cuts and good screens, and the ability to Jimmy Butler to really facilitate and set up the offense due to the attention that he attracts. Now, for the Miami Heat, next game is in Denver. It's the 4th and final game of a 4-game road stand. So it's going to be great for this road stand to finally come to an end. We do have to go to Denver. That is going to be interesting, as they are no rollover. They are going to be the toughest team that the Miami Heat have played, especially in the last 5 games. Milwaukee, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Sacramento, and now Portland. Definitely going to be the toughest game is going to be Denver, but it's okay because after Denver, we do get to come home and we get to host 2 more bad teams along the same lines of the Portland Trailblazers in the Utah Jazz and the Detroit Pistons. So something to look forward to for the Miami Heat. I can't wait to see how the rest especially this Denver game goes, because this is going to be huge for the momentum, as it seems like we are really rolling right now. We are up to the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. If we would have lost this game tonight, we would have been in shambles. We would have been around the 7th seed, tied with the 7th seed with the Orlando Magic. But because of a win, the 5th win in a row, we are now sitting in the 5th seed. We jumped the 76ers, and we are just a game and a half back from the 4th seed and the New York Knicks. I cannot wait to see how the next just week unfolds, as good teams are losing. The Knicks lost tonight because they didn't have Jalen Brunson. The Magic won tonight. It's a bunch of chaos going on in the NBA. Not only is the Western Conference going to be absolutely just a hell of a race down the stretch, but so is the Eastern Conference, it seems like, and the Miami Heat are going to be right involved in it. And if they continue the way they have been playing, I don't see how they can't make a run almost even to the 3 seed, especially if the Milwaukee Bucks continue the struggle. Yes, they did dominate tonight, but again, they played the Charlotte Hornets. They were at home. That's not like if there's a team you got to beat if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, it needs to be the Charlotte Hornets, especially when you are at home against another Eastern Conference team. But again, it seems like the Milwaukee Bucks are not very consistent. They are up and down. The Knicks aren't very healthy right now. And again, they've lost 3 out of their last 10 games. They're 3-7 in the last 10. The Miami Heat are in a prime position to make a big run. And I know the offense was very flat tonight, and we struggled against the Portland Trailblazers, especially in the first half. Against Sacramento, we went through huge lapses of flat offense. We couldn't get anything going. But you have to realize what we're working with here. We had games where we had 5 or 6 players not active due to suspensions and injuries, and then we come back tonight. We have all those players back, excluding Tyler Hero and Thomas Bryant. We try to put things back together as well as we really can with another starting lineup for the Miami Heat, and we made it work. But it's going to be interesting to see what we continue to do and what the injuries look like, as now we are not dealing with any suspensions. Josh Richardson obviously still hurt. Tyler Hero did miss tonight's game. Going to be interesting as he'll be listed as game to game or day to day, if you will, going into the Denver game. So going to be, I'll say, different than tonight's game, at least going into Denver. I can't wait. It should be a very exciting game. Let me know down in the comments how high you think the Miami Heat can get in these Eastern Conference standings. Thanks for watching this episode of Heat Digest. I'll see you guys on the next one.